Hello and welcome to The German Guy Reviews. I'm The German Guy. Well, it's that time again. Time to look at a big pig monster that causes chaos.
But pig can fix you too. Make you perfect, like the others.
Almost, but now I can only see him when I look at it. Roughly 10 years after the sequel, we got one final Sams movie. In the same amount of time the Sams has been living with Herrn Taschenbier. Will this last entry surpass the other two films and make me fondly remember this thing? Only one way to find out. This is Blissful Sams. We begin the movie with the Sams screwing around with the names of the cast. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, the movie has problems taking off as we are being attacked by a rejected X-Man. We really begin on a beautiful day in a park, with Herrn Taschenbier, wife and friends. Herr Taschenbier makes a speech explaining a couple of things that are of interest which are going on in the neighborhood. Suddenly, a storm decides to crash the party, and instead of putting his speech on pause, Herr Taschenbier continues. Hey, if my granddaddy can take on the Russian army during winter like a man, I can survive a few raindrops. Herr Taschenbier wishes for everything to turn back to normal, but the Sams points out that this would be his last wish. He replies that he doesn't care, and so the tranquility is returned. And somehow this moment feels a bit disconcerting, like they have been all hypnotized and brainwashed. Okay, it is made clear that they can all remember what happened, but for a moment it seemed like as if the Sams had just erased the last 5 minutes for these people. I was eating in peace, and then there was a fork in my head. Oh well, that's just how life goes. Which would open up a whole different chapter, because notice how often something like mind control is brought up in kids' media and how often the ethical ramifications are not taken into consideration. It's just all turned back to normal at some point. Then I rather prefer something like they did in Psychonauts 2.
The Psychonauts. We're not here to change people's minds, Raz. Not here to fix people. We're here to help people fight their own demons. The ones they already have.
The everyman then tells the crowd the reason why he brought them here today. He plans on quitting his old job and start his own business. Said business involves a machine that he built over 20 years. One that can make umbrellas almost instantly. Why did you spend 20 years building that all on yourself? You could have asked the Sams to just bring that machine into existence. I mean, yeah, I guess it's something along the lines of looking at your work and knowing what you have accomplished all on your own, but I mean, you still could have asked the Sams to give you blueprints or materials. Or, if you really wish to be the one who did it all by yourself, why not ask the Sams to give you a time-delayed pocket universe in which you don't age, similar to the training room in Dragon Ball. 20 years are a valuable thing, is what I'm saying. The man with the same name as the best drink in the world, and a thing where you carry stuff in, buys the old dog saloon from Herrn Mohn, and then practices how to quit his current position, together with the Sams. Dude, trust me, you are in no way obligated to leave on good terms. I remember my last job where it went down like this. I'm leaving! Eat a bag of dicks! The red-haired creature then begins to turn into smoke and travels through a portal to its home dimension. I always assumed as much, that the Sams was from a different realm, but I would have thought it was where nightmares are born. The leader of the Sams race tells the Sams Okay, can I just point out how stupid it is that the name of the main character is the same as his race? When was the last time you met someone called human? Are they all called Sams, or is it just a common name? Anyway, the leader, who goes by the name Das Übersams, tells our Sams that something special happens if a Sams has lived with a human for 10 years and has therefore, according to the rules, leave its home. But the Sams makes its own rules and just buggers off. A baby, not living long enough to know anything about the weird and inconsistent ways their magic works, asks what the special thing is that's going to happen. To which the answer is, the human in question will turn into a Sams himself. How many of you were people? Oh man, this is an invasion. I knew it. Okay, back to the movie. And then they start chanting, which makes the whole situation not any less creepy. One of us! One of us! One of us! You can't convince me there isn't a dark hidden law in the Sams universe. We return to Earth. Herr Taschenbier failed miserably at quitting and is assured by his job that he is going to work in this company forever.
Because you see, you're here forever. Don't forget, you're here forever.
Honey, I have to tell you something. I still got my job. I know, but we will make it work somehow. We will get through this. We will buy tons of stuff we don't need. We will go on vacation twice this year. Maybe I start gambling and we can ask your cousin George. You know, the one with the drug problem. But out of nowhere, the Samsification sets in, and Herr Taschenbier acts as if he plans to eat his boss's eyes with a straw. He furthermore becomes a public menace. The Sams wonders if this could have anything to do with the special thing that is supposed to happen, so the truth is quickly uncovered. They become bestest of friends immediately, and if you think one Sams was too much, two are even muchier. So much, in fact, that even the Sams thinks Taschenbier is out of control, after he regained his wish spots and they go to a chocolate factory to eat everything inside, but are captured by the police. He is interrogated for his various crimes and thrown in jail, where he has a not so pleasant encounter with the other inmates. Well, you know what they say, to get respect in prison, you need to challenge the biggest, baddest bully in the yard. And this is what actually happens in the film. The Sams species naturally knows the rules of the underworld. I wanna say I'm surprised, but no. Well, sort of. To scare them off, the man claims he knows a special martial arts form, which gets him the attention of this venom-abusing colossus. And you probably guessed it, while trying to run away, Herr Taschenbier is invaded by his second personality. But instead of just annoying the crap out of him or being lucky, he legitimately fights back and wins with ease. This species could destroy us within a day if it wanted to. And it will, when the red moon rises. Outside prison walls, the Sams calls for his father, thus making it possible for Herrn Taschenbier to use another wish to get out. He goes home and is immediately arrested again. Well, who could have thought they would look for me where I live? Oh yeah, remember how I said how very questionable manipulating people's mind was? Well, the two friends do exactly that now. They force the two officers to letting him off the hook, and in addition, all files on him are deleted. And thus begins the reign of terror of Umbrella Man and the Piglet. Also, funny thing, on the back cover of the DVD it says this movie is good for children's development. I mean, sure, if you think using people like finger puppets, making them dance to your whim is good moral teaching, hey, go for it. Frau Taschenbier visits the doctor to figure out what is going on with her husband. She is unaware of what is happening because the rules forbid the Sams to tell her. Remember kids, you only have to follow those rules that don't cause a plot inconvenience. Herr Taschenbier has another episode and the doctor recommends to just let him be. I don't think I like this new model of paying doctors per minute. The two troublemakers then play around with Taschenbier's machine, which explodes, making it rain umbrellas. Okay, I admit, that's really clever and funny. The Sams finally realizes what toll this situation is creating on Frau Taschenbier and so steals the rule book of Samshood to search for an answer, but is unable to. Later, Herr Taschenbier in his Sams form wishes for his best friend and his wife to turn into Saudi royalty and to show up when his machine is revealed to the world. Then they must show great interest in his invention. That way, other investors will be motivated to spend even more money. Aside from the Saudi part, this might be the most rational thing I saw anybody do in the series. Because he doesn't want the Sams to screw things up, he also wishes for it to be stuck where it stands and unable to speak. However, our wish-granting hybrid friend gets the missus to come up and communicate what happened through miming. When the wife arrives, the husband turns back to normal, thus nullifying the wish, making it look like as if he was playing a prank on the investor, which then makes him leave in anger. Everything goes south for the Taschenbier family. The roof is leaking and now the wife is starting the process of Samsification too. Now that everyone is on the same page, they begin to discuss solutions. Wishing the process to stop won't work because a Sams wish can never defeat a Sams rule, which is rule number 1. Rule number 2, guns! The mighty Übersams derweil, realizing the rulebook has been stolen, teleports to the human world. When it arrives, it says that it's moved because of their situation and decides to help. What they need is another black magic ritual. Everyone needs to get on the roof tonight and say Mittwoch, German for first day, backwards. And if you do that with the first day of the week, it triggers the end of the world. That's why Garfield hates Mondays. But oh no, turns out this was actually a spell to get the Übersams home, leaving the Taschenbiers with their problems alone.
Du hast uns reingelegt. Ich darf mich verabschieden. Alle Taschenbiere werden Sams.
Do you think we'll ever see her again?
I'm sure we will, honey. I'm sure we will.
There is only one way out of this miserable situation. The Sams has to leave, otherwise the change will be permanent. The Sams cannot be calmed down and spends his time sobbing until the others find out and they point out there's a rule declaring that if a Sams cries, it gets a free wish. Again, about a claim being made on the back cover of the DVD. You think it's a good idea to teach kids that, yes, if you cry, you get a free wish? You think that's bad? Obviously, the Sams returns to his family and the next thing they do together is to rob the investor guy blind. Yes, he deserved it. That's what you get for being understandably angry because it looked like we were just wasting your time. And so everything is okay. Herr Taschenbier finally opens his business and a photo to remember this happy day forever is made. And that was the final Sams film. I gotta say, I am impressed that after 10 years, the atmosphere, characters and way in which the story is told stayed impressively consistent with the other two. The actors haven't visibly aged all that much and appear to still like being here. What can I say? It's a Sams film. If you like the other ones, you like this one too. Same criticism and praise for the same things I made before can be made here. Though I have to wonder about the demographic marketing of this film. What I mean is this, let's say you are 8 years old when the first film came out. Anything above that and you are in a group of people who this is not aiming for. 10 years have passed, making you 18. I heavily doubt that you have children of your own, unless you really screwed up, who are old enough so that they can at least somewhat understand what's going on in the film. The best is a baby, and let's be honest, you can entertain a baby with a string and a paperclip. So, if you are 18, I'm convinced that you are most likely not going to watch this thing for nostalgia reasons. That happens in another 10 years when you become old enough to watch the biggest pile of shit ironically. And sure, new parents with their kids can go into this movie, but this story directly is built upon the previous films, and you won't understand things like the wishes or going on the roof at midnight if you haven't followed previous entries. Yes, obviously, you can just go and buy the other films and watch them beforehand, but the thing is, I, most likely, as a parent, would not even know that there are other films because it's not numbered, and most won't probably bother to find out. Disney is everywhere, so you will see some of their properties at some point. 2. Disney movies are usually good movies, period. That's why you have all ages enjoy them, and that's why I can see a 12-year-old 6 years later go and watch Frozen 2, even be excited for it. But the Sams? Who, as I said, remain consistent in that it has not evolved in the slightest with the audience, which would be fine if it had came out on a steady basis just a year after the first sequel. Of course, this is the type of kids film where adults and children alike are going into and not bother much with the rules of the world or plot consistency or other details that only a nerd like me is concerned with. I just find it strange on the movie maker's part. But yeah, parents just want to go in, let their kids be quiet for 98 minutes and watch people do goofy stuff. And for that, it has always been good enough. The German Guy out and auf Wiedersehen.